Today's job is the idle control valve on this. They seem to get pretty stuck. It seems to be a Toyota thing, so it does. The idle control valve is that green thing in there. So we've got to take the throttle body off. The airbox comes off, all the piping. Best to take the sensors off. And throttle cable. These are 12mm, there's 4 of them. One of them was longer than the others, so make sure you don't get that mixed up. It's pretty obvious which one's the short one. There's 2 coolant lines, so we're going to be messing about with coolant today that we're going to also have to take off. What's next? And then there's one further in there. Just those two. Here we have the throttle body completely off. It's quite a big unit for just a wee throttle body, so it is. So yeah, it needs a good clean, basically. This bit here comes off. This is the idle control valve. And if you're wondering about the coolant lines, the bottom coolant line is there, and the one on the side is there. So that's probably the trickiest one to get off, but I've changed the hose, so I've made it a bit more accessible at some point. So we're here just to clean up just the whole throttle body at this rate, because it is pretty manky. But yeah, there's lots of areas to clean. This is where your crankcase ventilation comes, so mine's is blocked off, so there's no more oil there, but as you can see, it still gets mega dirty inside of here, even though there isn't even though there's a filter in the way. But yeah, so I'm going to take this off. There's just 2 screws here. Alright, so took this off, just 2 screws, easy to come out. So I've just double checked with my mate and his dad. They both clean these things. They're basically similar in all Toyotas, so they are. So if yours is really bad, it'll be gunked up and this won't move at all, but this one apparently is quite good. Took off the bottom 4 screws anyways. I thought the coolant always circulated around the throttle body, but it doesn't. It just goes to the tiny little bit in the bottom. But yeah, you can see that hole in there. That's not very nice. So they're getting cleaned out. I had some before photos that I took. Really tempted to grease this because it's not the smoothest. I kind of want to take these back ones off, but it seems to be that there's some kind of alignment to them, so I kind of don't want to touch that at the same time. Downside load cleaner, so I also very slowly and carefully peeled back my gasket. I did start to tear it, so I stopped so as I could just get in there and give it a good clean. I used EGR and brake carb cleaner first, and then just to clean the rest of it up I used brake cleaner. It's a bit cheaper. So I have a trombone cleaner, I think it is, some kind of brass instrument cleaner. I was using that to get in, and then I was also using that, but this is great. It bends around corners, so it does. But yeah, I'm tempted to take that back bit off because I feel like I could grease it, although that looks like a cap that could come off. Got a little fiddle. Yeah, just carefully lifted it up, cleaned it all out. It was fairly disgusting. And this gasket here, still pretty pliable, so gonna reuse it obviously. Give it a couple minutes just let it gas off though. But yeah, this throttle body is looking a lot cleaner anyways. Right, so in there is just a little limiter thing. You can just adjust it. You don't really need to open that up by the looks of it. I'm gonna spray some, just any kind of wet kind of lubricant that I have, probably some chain oil, just to keep that bearing a little bit lubricated, because we have just sprayed lots of cleaner down it. So yeah, I'm going to do that, and hopefully that keeps that going for a bit longer. Right, the only benefit I could see from actually taking that back bed off was that you could get the trap door basically all the way around. Yep, I'm going to tighten everything up, put it back together and see if it runs. Last thing I've done here is just clean up these contact points. They're obviously meant there for grounding, so let's make sure they're nice and clean so that they get a good connection. All back together, everything's nice and clean anyways. Now we're just going to stick it back into that. That's it, back in. Coolant lines are plumbed up. Got the vacuum lines. There's some birds on the roof. If you're struggling with getting these old rubber hoses off, just give them a spray with some WD-40 or something, and they slip on, slip off quite easily. Conclusion, I've had a bit of a drive and this has not fixed my issue of I've got like a high idle that sticks on sometimes it goes down, sometimes it doesn't, but that, and also it's a bit jerky on and off throttle sometimes, so yeah, not great, not good, but it's good to knock another thing off the list. Obviously if you open yours up and then it's stuck, then you know that's probably your issue. I also tested the coils, the actual thing that makes the control valve move inside. The photo is probably up on the screen. Once again, it's another multimeter test. That was all fine, so I know the idle control valve is okay. Alright, so that's how you do that anyways. That's how you clean it all, and yeah, it'll help somebody out this video, even though it didn't fix my issue, but that's how you do it. This is a very common thing to go in these Toyotas, especially other Toyotas, because they have a very similar setup. So there you go. Hope this helps. Leave a like and subscribe, I guess.